Welcome to my guide on Heavy Nova for the Sega Genesis. Before we get started, make sure to turn on the game and have the 2-player mode ready. Without further ado, let's get started. Step 1. Turn off the console. Step 2. Take out the game and put it back in the case. Now here's where it gets tricky. Step 3. Put the game specifically around the bottom of your collection. Not low enough in that you'd want to play Slaughter Sport, but high enough in that you'd rather play Tournament Fighters. Now that you got an idea on how to play the game, let's get into the long play. Hello guys, this is Zachary1021 here, and welcome to my no-def guide on Heavy Nova for the Sega Genesis. Now, unlike my speed run, I'm not going to be playing on training mode. I'm actually going to be playing on ultimate mode this time, which is the hardest difficulty of the game, and without further ado, let's get started. Okay, so this is mission 1, and again, unlike my speedrun, I'm going to be taking it very slow this time. Now, you got 2 buttons, you got punch and kick. The third button can be used for dashing, but you can also tap forward twice to dash. Now, for these side-scrolling levels, you mostly want to be using your kick because the enemies are very low to the ground. And this laser barrier right here, you're going to be seeing it a lot in this game, and it's very annoying later on. So as usual, just keep going. Flight, when you fly, when you press up, is very important to get used to, because there'll be some sections where you have to fly really fast. And other than that, this first stage alone is really easy. You can beat it in like 5 seconds if you know what you're doing. Now, after you beat a side-scrolling level, the game tallies your score, and then it will tell you how much time it took for you to beat the stage. If you get under the required time, you actually get a lot of points for it. And now we get into the main meat of the game, but this is only the first boss battle, so it doesn't quite clearly explain how it works. So you're gonna see me jab this boss a lot, and I guess this would give me time to explain I guess I could use this time to explain what I think about the game. So, Heavy Nova is like a side-scrolling / fighting game. And to say it's bad would be an understatement. This game is awful. Now, I myself kinda like it. I mean, it might mostly be because the music carries it for me, but this game is just really bad, and there's a lot I want to say during this playthrough, so I figured instead of making a guide section, I just explained the game on the way. Now, as you can see with the first boss, you don't really have to do much. You just walk forward and keep jabbing. And after you do these one-on-one fights, the game will tell you the amount of moves you have done on the opponent. So because I hit him with 49 jabs, I got that many points. So all of the moves here you don't have yet, but you'll unlock them later on by leveling up. Now, I guess it's a good time for me to mention, some of a lot of these moves are useless, like missile, you would never land on the opponent because they always duck it. But all of the throws are somewhat useful. I think single arm throw you would see the least because it's the weakest of the throws. But other than that, yeah, like half of these moves are useless. Like you won't be using body blow and uppercut much. You won't be using zoom punch since your character can't even use it. High kick is useless. Missile, again, it does nothing. They always dodge it. And shoulder tackle will never work either. So after the game tallies your score, you move on to the next stage. Alright, this is stage 2. Again, it's really easy. Just take your time and you should have no problem beating it in under a minute. And as you go through these stages, they will introduce more and more hazards on your way. You see more of these jumping robots. They're not too bad to deal with, and I think you only see them in this mission alone, like mission 1. So as you can see, I just got a level up, and that would allow me to learn new moves. Now, what's going on here is that usually in this section, I dash right through under the mines, but because I was already walking forward, the mines lowered themselves down, and I got hit from both of them from trying to rush it. Now this wrecking ball over here, you can just duck it and then kick the switch to deactivate it. And this last part, you just have to fly a little bit over so that you go under the ball and over the mines. You don't have to hit the switch there, but you can if you want to. And now, it's time to get into the true meaning of the game, which is the one-on-one sections. The first boss didn't count because that's more of a pushover fight. Oh, that's right. So yeah, when you level up, the game will tell you the moves you learned, and they don't tell you how to do it. You need the manual in order to know how to. But you won't see me use body blow and uppercut or shoulder tackle, but single and double arm throw is pretty good in this game. So now begins the real fight of the game. Now, this is where I can explain how the game works. So as you can see, we have a health bar, and you see a lot of bars under the health bar. This is the game calls it power gauge. I'm gonna call it the stamina gauge. Now, as you can see right now, I have 7 bars of stamina. Stamina affects 3 important things, I should say. So 1, it affects what moves you can do. So, you know, if you have 7 bars of stamina, you can do all of the moves you have. But you have moves like grabs in which you need at least 5 bars of stamina in order to perform. 2, if you have 3 bars of stamina, you cannot attack at all. So right now you see that the CPU, the enemy, has 3 bars, and when they have 3 bars, they will always 100% run away from you. And they'll start to fight you when they have at least 4 bars of stamina. And I'm gonna get into how to take advantage of that in a bit. Now the third and most important reason, and this is how people quit the game, if you have 2 or less bars of stamina, you cannot do anything at all. So if you get knocked down and you have like 1 bar or less, your robot would just lay down there and the CPU could do whatever they want until the match, until like you recover. So some people would drop the controller when this situation happens. That's the worst thing you can do. If you drop the controller, then you might as well turn off the game at this point because there's no chance of winning. And the reason is because when you have 2 or less bars of stamina, you can actually keep mashing A or B or mash both in order to recover it faster. But not only that, but when you do this, there's a small chance that when the CPU tries to grab you while you're in this state, your robot will automatically counter it and get back to 3 or 4 bars of stamina, which is really good. And the CPU will also do this to you. So the idea is that, like, how can I explain this? I'm trying to explain it in a way that like doesn't sound too confusing because this game is a mess. Now, pretty much the strategy is, so you can't do anything while you're under 3 bars. You can't attack while you're on 3 bars. Well, let me reword that. So pretty much, 2 or less bars you can't do anything. 3 bars you can't attack. And 4 bars you can attack but you can't grab. So the strategy I use is that the CPU likes to run away when they're on 3 bars, right? Well, if they're gonna run away on 3 bars and fight when they're on 4, then the idea is that when they're on 4 bars and go after you, you instantly hit them with a grab if you can. And the reason is because grabs are instant. They're like one frame, they'll activate right away compared to like trying to jab the opponent or kick them. Now, because they're trying to fight you when they reach 4 bars of stamina, if you have 5 or more, you can instantly grab them and beat out whatever attack they're trying to do. Because remember, they're at 4 bars of stamina, they can't grab you back. And grabs are very dangerous in this game because, like I just said, they're instant. Now, I am screwing up a lot here. This part's kind of important because you don't get health back, and when you enter a boss stage, you have whatever health you had in the previous stage. So you can see I have like half of my health. If I was to enter the boss stage right now, that's how much health I'd have when I face the boss. Now, this stage introduces a lot of switches, the capsules on the floor. By kicking them, you can activate doors, and that's how we're going to have to proceed in these levels. So now you can see that the doors open from earlier. Now, oh man, there's so much to explain in this game. I hope I gave like a decent explanation so far, but there's still like a lot more in a sense. Alright, but anyways, you want to take advantage of the CPU when they have 4 bars of stamina, because that's when they're at their absolute weakest, and they're not smart enough to run away. Now, I got the next level up. We will learn 2 very important moves here. So we're gonna learn Hammer Knuckle and Missile. We will never use that one, and Backdrop. Hammer Knuckle is good because, as I said before, when your stamina is 2 or less, you can mash and have a chance to counter their grab. You cannot, however, counter Hammer Knuckle or Knee Trip. So the idea is that when you get them to 2 bars or less, you keep spamming these 2 moves, and it is possible for them to recover out of it, but they'll never be able to counter you out of it. I don't know how that happened. I just grabbed thin air, but that just goes to show how broken this game is. Now, so you can see me doing a few grabs here. Once they're at low stamina, I'm picking them up, doing Knee Trip into Hammer Knuckle. You want to do this for the whole entire game. Now again, they might recover, we might see it happen here. There you go, so you can see he like crouched under it, and you do that by mashing, and he was able to get away. But as you can see, he has 4 bars of stamina, he will try to fight you. That's your chance to go for a grab, since grabs are instant, and he isn't able to grab back. I'm going for the same method of knee tripping into Hammer Knuckle. Now, outside of taking advantage of them when they have 4 bars of stamina, what you want to do when they have more than that, like when they have 5 or more, you want to position yourself in a way that when they land in front of you, you're able to hit them with Knee Trip right when they land. Now, you don't want to be too close when you do this, because if you're close when you do Knee Trip when they're about to land, they'll probably grab you out of it, since, you know, grabs are instant. So you want to space the Knee Trip in a way that like you're still able to do it, because if you're too far, you get a high kick instead. And actually, let me just let the cutscene play out first. If you was paying attention, you might have realized that they misspelled Earth. Now, the game's presentation is pretty dang good. I'm not, well, outside of the graphics when you're playing, but the cutscenes I kind of like. Now, for now, I'm going to have to stop talking about the fighting, because these stages are really important. Well, actually, this stage is really quick. What you want to do here is a dash forward and start flying. But you want to like kind of let go of up at times so that you can stay long in the air. Then you want to fall down here, kick the switch. You'll take a hit, but that's fine, and then you walk to the right. Really easy stage. You can go to the bottom, but there's literally nothing there but enemies, so you might as well do it this way. Anyhow, back to the fighting. So yeah, you want to knee trip them when they land, but if you're too close, they'll grab you, so you want to do it at like the max range that you can perform knee trip. And right when you get knee trip, you can combo into Hammer Knuckle. So you might see that here. And as you can see, it's you do not want to face them up close, like just by walking forward is very risky. And you're seeing me use a lot of jump kicks. The reason is because jump kicks are invincible in this game. And if you somehow land it, it will just put them right at 4 bars in which you can go for a grab. Unfortunately, I got knee trip instead, and the computer just opened me up. So this is pretty much the whole game. You want to do jump kicks every now and then, and when they land, you want to do knee trip into hammer knuckle. Now, later on, you see me do a lot of pile drivers. And not pile drivers, I should say backdrops. I don't know if I do it in this stage, maybe in one of the later stages. I know I definitely do it at the last boss. But for now, you just want to knee trip to hammer knuckle. And if they recover and get to 4 bars of stamina, you want them to land in front of you. And once you get used to the timing, it'll feel easier. It might be weird at first. But you see, right now they got 4 bars. I'm gonna wait because I wasn't close enough to go for a grab there. I would have gotten like a high kick or a knee trip. So right there, I went for a single arm throw. It is a throw, but it's not that good because you can see that it didn't do a lot of damage to their health or stamina. But they're back to 4 bars, so now I'm gonna wait. Unfortunately, the CPU likes to fly a lot. So I should be close enough to go for a grab here. There you go, double arm throw. Now you pick them up quickly, go for knee trip into hammer knuckle. This is the entire game. Outside of maybe some backdrops, which you'll see later, this is all you want to do, and I could not think of a different strategy other than like trying to fly behind them and going for nothing but backdrops, which will also happen later. Alright, this stage is very screwed up. If it's your first time doing this stage, it's going to be very difficult. So you see a new kind of switch, it's blue and red. You got to hit the blue side in order to activate it. So now you want to go down here after you activate it. Deal with these enemies first. Now, you're supposed to go to the left. What you want to do is first go to the right. Now don't go too fast because there's bombs on the right side of the platform. Kick this enemy and now you want to go up. And the reason is because there's a switch on the bottom and it will activate a door that will slowly start to close, and you want to get there as fast as possible. But if you don't deal with the enemies, you might take a few hits and like it'll already be too late. So because there's no enemies here, I'm able to hurry up, go all the way to the top left. And now you want to take a few steps back, get ready to dash, and then fly up. And you should make it there no problem. Now this part, before you pass this first laser, well, of course I take a hit first. Wait for the laser and then dash. Now this part is this is probably the hardest part of the stage. Once you activate the switch, you have to hurry up and go to the left, because the door opens up, but again it slowly starts to close. Now, you don't have to rush it. If you just walk, you should be fine. And honestly, even if you take a hit or two, you should still be okay. But yeah, like if you're patient and you know how to control, like you're used to the controls on how delayed it is, you should be able to make it there no problem. This part you want to fly up right away. If you don't, this robot would charge at you and get a free hit in. Now if you're on training mode, this robot would just like destroy the door on the right. But because we're on ultimate, we actually have to destroy this robot. So we're gonna fly up here, and this is exactly where you want to be in order to not only fly over the robot's charge, but to also get some hits in yourself. So do about 2 to 3 jabs, and then when you land, like once he starts charging, you go back up. Just try to linger there for a bit by letting go of up every now and then you should take him down. So yeah, the stage is a bit difficult at first, but once you learn it, it's not too bad. Alright, time for another boss fight. Again, I'm not sure what else to say at this point. All you have to do is just knee trip into hammer knuckle when they land in front of you, and make sure you space it correctly. And also time it correctly. Like, you can't just mash it, it won't work that way. I'm very surprised I got that grab off. That was just luck, because usually when the computer lands, they'll instantly get a grab on you. And again, if you try to mash it, like keep pressing like B or forward to grab them when they land or whatever, it will almost never work. You have to time it in order for something like that to happen. So I got him to 4 bars of stamina, now I just have to wait for him to get in front. If he can stop running away, that is. So here we go for a grab. Of course, oh, I didn't get to mention how stamina recovers. So Stamina recovers just by standing, pretty much, or fighting. If you're crouching or flying around, you actually don't recover stamina. And of course, stamina goes down by landing attacks on an opponent. The only move that just drains your stamina by a bar or puts it down is Missile. And again, I highly recommend you never use it. You would never land it against a computer unless you're incredibly lucky, I guess. Of course, I myself don't believe in luck, so that's the last thing I want to do. Now again, it might be a little annoying when you try to grab them at 4 bars because, like, if they've been standing for a bit of time while at this state, they might have enough bars of stamina to get back up after your grab, so you can't like pick them up and start the knee trip into hammer knuckle loop. And I'm getting smoked up here. Holy crap! But again, just stay calm, and as long as you space knee trip into hammer knuckle when they land, you should be fine. If I was a bit closer there, I could have went for a backdrop, and that move is really good. I can't wait to like get to that part so I can explain how it works. And okay, look, like, I don't know what else to say here. I mean, I've already sort of explained like how to beat the game outside of like the later side-scrolling levels that will come next. But these fights are just really that bad. You have to use this method. There's probably other ways to beat the game. I mean, there's which we'll see later, there's the whole spamming backdrop by flying behind them. But it's just, like, the CPU is so precise and you cannot play this game normally. It's, like, I don't want to say it's impossible, but you'd have to be very precise yourself, and oh man, it's so bad. And I know I'm making this game look easy, but trust me, when I first played this game, I got destroyed so hard. It was like, I couldn't believe it. I thought it was just me being bad at fighting games or something, but no, the game just sucks. Anyhow, that was the second boss. Now we get into the third stage. This stage isn't too bad, maybe besides one section. And there's a lot of enemies to deal with first, so you want to just walk forward and take your time. I didn't get to mention it, but you can actually destroy enemy projectiles with your kick. That was a funny glitch I performed. If you press kick right when you fall off, your kick still comes out and you're able to hit the enemy with it. So you get an upgrade called Shot. It allows you to shoot projectiles by holding punch, and you can only do it while standing or flying. Now, this upgrade is only for this stage. You won't keep it. Like, once you beat the stage, it'll be gone. It's alright, it's not the worst. It just doesn't do a lot of damage. But it is a free upgrade, so you might as well take it anyways. Now, I wonder how many times I said now. Holy, wow. I said it a lot so far. So, this part, you trigger the lasers, you want to dash through right away. Unfortunately, I didn't get to start my... Oh, Jesus, it's like a mess. So, when you get to that part, you want to dash through, and right when you get under the door, you want to start flying so that you can go over the mines. And if you've done that correctly, you wouldn't have taken as much damage as I did. Thankfully, there's health rating for you at the end, so you should be able to get back to full health. Now, I keep saying now. Oh, jeez. Anyways, the health pickups in this game give you 50% health. I didn't get to mention that in the beginning. And when you get up to this part, you face this sort of mini boss. If you keep punching it and like holding punch so that you can keep shooting at the same time, you can take him down no problem. You can also duck under its lasers or try to fly over it. But if you've mastered the knee trip into hammer knuckle method, oh wow, I actually beat it under the time limit. That's cool. So yeah, if you beat it under the time limit, you get a lot of points. And if you've mastered the knee trip into hammer knuckle method that I've been using a lot, then you can actually like, you won't need a lot of health to even beat these stages. Like, you see, I lost plenty of health from the laser from earlier, but it really doesn't matter because I already know how to beat these sections. So yeah, at this point, what else can I say about the game? Because again, I'm just gonna be doing the same thing here. So yeah, the presentation is like mixed in that the cutscenes I really like. That intro is amazing, by the way. I wish I mentioned that in the beginning. It's really good. Maybe in a way it's a bad intro because It makes you think the game's gonna be awesome, but then you play it and it feels like utter garbage. But the graphics are kind of, I mean, I know it's robots, but it doesn't have to look this lifeless. There's a lot of gray going on in these palettes. Like, in the backgrounds, I should say. There's so much gray in this game. And again, it takes place in space, I get it. But like, I don't know, I really don't like how it looks. The gameplay, I don't need to say anything. You're already seeing it. It is absolutely awful. If I was not doing this, wow, I missed that. If I was not doing this method, it would be so much worse. And if this was my first time playing it, I wouldn't even get this far, because the game just gives you no info. It's definitely one of those games where you have to read the manual just to get some idea on how it works. And even then, the manual isn't even correct for the most part. Like, the manual shows you a single arm drill, but it doesn't tell you that it costs 5 stamina to use, even though it shows how much stamina you need for the other grabs. Like, I don't get it. But that just shows you how incomplete this game is. It's just really bad. In the Sega CD version, from my knowledge, the only difference is the music. The fighting, the sound effects, it's still the same. Or even the graphics for that matter. So now I'm just spamming I keep calling it Pile Driver. Now I'm just spamming Backdrop. This is the same thing as spamming Hammer Knuckle, knee trip into Hammer Knuckle, because and he recovered, because you're grabbing them from behind, and there's nothing in the game in which you can counter a grab from behind, or I should say backdrop. So yeah, when you get the backdrop happening, it's just as safe of an option as knee tripping into Hammer Knuckle. Because if you use any other grab, the CPU will not only recover, but they'll also grab you and deal damage yourself, and you don't want to be in that situation. So now I'm getting a lot of backdrops going on at this stage, which is really good. I was expecting this. These fights usually take long, unless you're on training mode, in which like they have much smaller HP bars and you can deal with them easily. Alright, now this is stage 4. In this stage, you can actually learn the last move in the game by getting the last level up. Right away, you want to fly over that steel beam and start punching this thing. You'll take a few hits here, but after about like 9 or 10 punches, the shit go down. Yeah, I think that was 9 punches. Now, you get the health. Now you want to go to the left. And you want to fly up. In this stage, after you destroy that, I guess I could call it a magnet, you're able to fly infinitely. Oh, that's a long way down. But yeah, when you destroy the magnet, you can fly for as long as you want. And you're gonna need it for this part, since not only can you get the level up on the left, but you have to go all the way to the top right in order to progress through the stage. And this stage isn't too bad. It's pretty easy, if anything. The only annoying part is these enemies. But these enemies isn't too bad, because you can actually kick their missiles, and you have to do this in order to advance forward without taking a bunch of hits. So you can see I'm just walking. I'm not dashing or flying. I'm just taking my time and kicking. And as long as you do that, you should be good. So there's going to be a lot of bombs and mines here. Just fly over to the left. Now when you hit this button, it's going to trigger 2 doors. Now, the door on the top left is fine because it will open up, but if you don't get there in time and it closes, you can still destroy it, because green doors can actually be destroyed in this game. So you just keep punching it and you get the health. Now the door on the right, that one closes and you can't destroy it, so when you activate the switch, you have to get there fast. Of course, they give you a decent amount of time, so it's not too bad. I honestly should be flying this way, because something like that could happen. I should have just went through the middle. So punch the switch and then turn around. Or, oh, what was I trying to do there? I think I was trying to like dash, but yeah, let me hit the switch again and just fly forward. You want to make sure you take at least 1 step forward first so that you get a lot of momentum. Now, it's fine if you take a hit here. Again, this stage, like, the boss battles, if you know how to beat it at this point, then even half a HP bar is more than enough to beat them. So it took me some time to beat that stage. But here is the last move in the game. It's Pile Driver. It's good and bad at the same time. It's good in that it's the strongest grab in the game that does, like, it's not too noticeable, but it does a lot of damage to their health and stamina. it's bad in that the animation is really long, and during this animation, the opponent is actually like recovering stamina, like during it, so it ends up feeling just as useful as double arm throw, which is ironic considering it's the same input, but to perform Power Driver, you need at max stamina, and if you don't have max stamina, if you have like 6 or 5 bars, you get a single arm throw instead. Or I should say double arm throw, because double arm throw is done with a kick, and single arm throw is done with punch. Now, at this point, yeah, like, I can't say anything here, it's the same thing, but you have to do this. I don't know, like you see the secondary method I have in store when we get to the final boss, but other than that, this is the most efficient method, and it works a lot. Like, when I went to go record, oh, there's a Power Driver, which is pretty cool. Like, when I went to go record this game for the run, like, this was after like doing the guide and practicing like some of the stages on their own. Like, I was using the level select to like practice the stages I had a difficult time with, and after that I just said, okay, maybe just start recording and see how it goes. And this is the first attempt. Like, it's not like I got game over, or I should say I used to continue, and that has like restart the game and try it again. It wasn't like a case of World Heroes or something, but like, yeah, it's good to see that I power drive. Whoa, oh jeez, what's happening on the screen? Holy crap. But yeah, it's good to see that I power drivered the air. But yeah, like, after I mastered the game, I did not have a hard time beating it without continuing, because this is all you have to do. You just focus on mastering this one strategy, and all of a sudden the game becomes easy. And the only exception is the side-scrolling levels. Like, if you don't know what you're doing in those, you could technically die in them or have so little HP that the boss would just like wipe the floor with you before you get the chance. Because the last thing I didn't mention, I guess I should have, there's so much nonsense this game has, it's unreal. I'm trying to like, I'm not even playing and I'm losing it. Like, I gotta calm down. So when your HP bar is low, like, you can see the enemy's HP is blinking. Your stamina, like when your HP bar is blinking, is actually recovering very slowly. Like, it takes forever to get to 5 bars of stamina when you're in this state. So if you're in a situation where you're facing the CPU and your HP is blinking or very low, the fight becomes very difficult. Like, it gets unreal. So you never want that situation to happen. Now, this is the last stage of the game, or the last side-scrolling level. Right away, you want to deal with the 2 enemies on the right, and there's a lot of moving around, because the whole gimmick of this stage is you want to destroy switches that will open doors, in which there will be another switch that opens another door. And you'll be doing this for most of the stage. So you want to go up, then you want to keep going up. Of course, I get hit by the missile. And before I advance up to the first switch, I want to deal with this enemy first. So I'm going to fly up here and kick it. And now I'm going to fly up here. And to the left, that's the last switch we need to get to. Or at least the second to last switch. But to the left is the first switch, so you want to go there and kick it. And now you want to drop down to the right, around here, and this door should have opened, as you can see. Now fly to the right, and then you want to go on the platform under this, which will have an enemy and a switch. And if you time it like this, you can kick both, which is really good. Now you want to go to the left, there'll be another switch, you kick that. And now that switch all the way at the top from earlier should be open. So you want to fly up again. Now, I don't know why I went to the right. I think I made this mistake in the speed run too. You're actually supposed to go to the left, because everything looks the same, man. It's, oh my gosh. Anyways, you fly up here, and right here should be the switch that we need. So now that that's destroyed, you can go all the way to the bottom, and that's where the last switch will be. And I was crouching there because if you missed the level up from the stage before, the level up will actually appear on that platform. So there'll be a green door. You can make it here before it closes, but otherwise you can just punch it, get both energy bars, and once you kick the switch, dash right away. If you don't, you might get hit by the turrets from the top. Now you can fly up and exit the stage. Do I go right here? Nah, go left, okay. So you can go right, but there's mines there, so you might take a hit. But it is slightly faster to beat the stage that way, if you're trying to speedrun it. Oh, no, there's the mines, okay. So I do go, okay, but I still go left, so. But yeah, it's a bit faster if you go there instead, but you're gonna take a hit from the mines, so it might be the same, I don't know. Anyways, this last door will open, and now we enter the final boss stage. Anyways, this is where I'll show the last method to beat the boss, and from here on out, I'm just gonna be quiet and let it play out. And that was the end of Heavy Nova. As you can see there, I kept my back turned in order to like fly behind them and like go for the backdrop, which went really well. And you don't have to do this. It's like my secondary method in case the first one doesn't work, which is timing knee trip into hammer knuckle when they land in front. But as long as you master at least one of these techniques, then you definitely have a chance at beating this game. This game sucks though. I don't really recommend playing it. I just made a guide in case someone for some reason got curious to play it. And yeah, that's it for the game. I don't know if even though I kinda like it, I don't know if I ever want to play this again. Because there's no way I would defend this game if someone called it the worst Genesis game ever made. It's really that bad. And oh my gosh, you know what, yeah, I'm done. I don't want to see this game anymore. We enjoyed the ending, I'm out.